Okay, welcome back to No Man's Sky, and as you can see we're back on our farm base, and I've created this nice little display room just here. You might be wondering why I have created this display room. And basically it's because today we are going to be looking at exotic planets and collecting the trophies from them. Okay, let's just upload that. And save. Right, and we're going to go to our teleporter where we have a nice handy list of the planets already ready for us. Right, we're going to start then with terbium growths. So I've named each of the planets after the trophy that we can find there. And you'll find on each of these planets I have created a very simple base that has the storage containers, a small round room, 2 red containers, 2 green crates, and then on the inside here we've got snapped in the middle teleporter. On the left, a trade terminal. On the right, your health stuff and a save point. And 2 batteries at the front, along with solar panels around the sides, and that powers everything. And it's going to be exactly the same build on each of the planets that we're going to visit. So, this is a mechanical planet, and we are looking for terbium growths. Now, they will come up on your visor when you are within 50 U of them. They will come up in yellow like the gravity nobles are, but it will have a question mark. So let's explore this planet a little bit. Each of the exotic planets have... We've got some flint crystals here, hello. So flint crystals have superoxide crystal, chlorine lattice, tetracobalt, all of those types of things to stabilise sodium. Carbon crystals, yeah. Yeah, all of the exotic planets have one type of animal. In this case it's this guy, so I've just scanned him. Alright. If I go into my discoveries and upload him, and then click here, alright, that's just completed one part of the zoology for me. Okay, so if I didn't already have the zoology achievement, which I believe I do. Oh no I don't, there you go, it's just updated that to 2, I only had the 1 before. Okay, so as we do this, you'll find that I will complete that up to 11 planets. Okay, so we're looking for one of the question marks in yellow. Sometimes they're really easy to find, and other times not so much. You can also, without using your visor, sometimes see them, because basically what it does is it takes what the other objects look like and it slightly discolours it. So sometimes you can tell that it's one of the trophies because it's a slightly different colour to everything else. Right, here we go. This is one of them, it's marked with a question mark. You see the inside of it's yellow. Right, so I've picked that up now. See the inside of the rest were red. So I now have in my inventory 1 terbium growth. Okay. And what I can do with that terbium growth is on any of my bases, go into decorations and I go over to glitches. I can build it. And I can colour it different colours. Now it's yellow on the inside. It's blue. Now it's red, etc. When I delete it, it goes back into my inventory. Okay, so next is bubble clusters. Again, the base is completely identical. As you can see, this planet has a whole lot of bubbles. This one happens to be right next to a boundary failure, which, if you don't know about these yet, interact here to find out a bit of lore about this thing on your shoulders that keeps screaming no free slots in ship inventory at you. This thing that's moving around near your head. That's called Telemon. Okay, right, well I can immediately see some bubble clusters, so let's go pick them up. You can see that they're a slightly different colour to the other bubbles here. Right, so now we just need to find one of the others. There's another one. Crikey, there's a lot. So some planets you'll find have lots and lots and lots of the decorations, and others not so much. So you can go to 2 different bubble planets and have a really hard time on one finding them and a really easy time on another. These are our animals. They're called blood balloons, and they're where all the bubbles are coming from. Time figuring out where that thing is. If you shoot the random animals on these planets, they can give you a variety of things. Sometimes it's the junk stuff that you can refine into nanites, sometimes it's mordite, sometimes it's pugnium, and they will also give you hex core, or is it hexite? I forget. Let's go find out. Absolutely loads of this planet. Alright, it's night time, so they're potentially not going to come out. So we'll kill some more creatures on the next exotic planet and we'll find out that way. So the next one is electric cubes. Already I can see one right in the distance. So these planets have a varying amount of all of this stuff that you can see. Some of them are absolutely littered with it to the point where you can't see the ground, and others are quite scarce, like this one is. And this is a... what's that type called again? Totally forgotten. A fractured planet. Okay, so as you can see, it's a slightly different colour, and again, every fractured planet you go to, the cubes are going to be a different colour to each other. So sometimes the colour's really similar to the ones, the colours that are used on the planet for the rest of the stuff, and sometimes they're totally different. Meaning sometimes it's a lot easier to see them in your just looking around than it is on others. Just looking for the native creature. Come on, animals, where are you? Looking for living Zambalites, which look a bit like this thing, except that they move. Come on, where are you? I'm going to spend all day on this planet, as beautiful as it is. It's absolutely littered with cubes everywhere, but no animals. Well, I'm going to start heading back towards the base and just hope for the best. I can't believe I'm not finding any, this is madness. Oh, maybe it's because it was night time. Maybe I'll stop finding them now it's daytime. Aha, that was correct. So, it's these things. Scan that. Now let's shoot that. Still pretty scarce. doesn't actually seem to be giving me into the hex side quite annoyingly. So again, you can refine living slime into runaway mould, the viscous fluid into the runaway slime. Okay, so next one, cable pods. So we get some eerie sounds on these planets, and some sort of penis joke. Okay, straight away we've got our animals. And our cable pods, that was easy. Always be careful when you're attacking creatures on these planets, because if you get too close and attack them from quite close by, if you don't kill them quick enough, they can attack you and do spectacular damage. And they'll basically boot you into space, just like the monstrosities can have a chance to do. So do these things, basically. Right. Getting the impression they might have removed the Hexite, Hexcore reward from the portal, because I'm not actually getting any. But whatever. So that was a contoured planet. We'll see that. There you go. 3 out of 4 to the next stage. So our next one is Rattle Spines. On this planet as well. It's called a skeletal planet. Each of the different exotic planet types have 3 different names. So, well, this one's called skeletal. It could have been off the top of my head, I can't remember, but there's 2 other names for it. But I could tell you the one that we're going to go to in a bit for Hexplate Bush, that could be called a hexagonal planet, a plated planet, or a scaly planet, for example. Okay, so look around there. Right, not a lot in there. Just like the monstrosities remind me of the film Pitch Black, so do these things. Because I feel like the creatures' heads look a bit like that. Okay. Have our creatures for this planet are under the ground. Slight different colours when you approach it from a different angle anyway. Right, so that is our rattle spine. Ah, there you go, hex core. Told you it did. I'll put that down. Ooh. Next one we have light fissures. So these exotic planets can spawn in any star system, but they have a slightly higher chance of spawning in red, green and blue ones as opposed to your normal yellow star systems. Seems as though a system being abandoned or not doesn't really have much of an effect on the spawn rates, but okay, here we have our animal. I think I can see one right away in the distance here. And I passed it. You see how it's different light coming out, different coloured light, which makes these actually relatively easy to spot from a long distance because of the light that's coming out the top of them. These are all sort of a greeny colour, whereas I can see right over there, slightly more yellow colour, I think. I absolutely need to recharge my life support. And yeah, it's pretty clear now. I'm close to it. I was correct. There. So that's our light fissures planet. Next we have calcus shrooms. So yeah, these are really handy if you're trying to go for your zoology milestone and unlock the achievement, because actually just visiting these alone does that. So you never have to do it on a normal planet with finding all the animals. Okay, so we are on a capped planet. This one doesn't seem particularly populated, but some of them are really populated with all these little mushroom things. Because it's night time, we're going to struggle to find any animals, so we might have to wait around for a while. But that just gives us more time to hunt for the trophy. Remember, the trophy's only going to show up on my visor here as a question mark if I am within 50 U of it, which isn't that big a distance, so you're largely relying on your eyes spotting something a little out of the ordinary. Which for a second I thought that was, but it's not. Okay, seems we've found some animals. Where'd they go? Wisps. So this just goes to show that it can be sometimes really difficult to find the trophy on a particular planet. Oh, that was going to give me hex core and it didn't have room for it. There's not much use for these hex cores, by the way. Just every now and again there will be a weekend mission that tasks you with doing exactly what I'm doing and requires you to get a certain amount of hex core, so it can be useful to just have it stored up to make those weekend missions a little easier when it does that, but it does that very rarely. Hexite, which is slightly different, can be awarded to you from the guild NPC. Found one. From the guild NPC on the space stations if your rating is high enough, but again it's random because they pull from a pool of basically all of the game's items. You can get it from Nexus missions and from frigate missions, again very rarely. So this is hexite we're talking about, not hex cores. And you of course get the exact right amount, or slightly more than the right amount, during the Starbirth mission from a crashed freighter that is marked for you. But again, this hexite has no other use beyond that mission. But yeah, these hex cores, which are different to the Hexite, can be used occasionally in a weekend mission. So that's these. Contained reality glitches. Okay, so next we are going for Capillary Shells. So these planets are absolutely littered with these shells and strange growths. And really quickly I found some. So you notice that was pink as opposed to the sort of green and yellowy colours that the rest are. Of course we've just gone into darkness, making it harder to find animals. Right, so some of them appear underground, as you can see. What's particularly interesting is that the ground on these planets has the same texture when you dig as it does on the surface. So like if you've got some really interesting surface designs, as you sometimes do, then it can be quite interesting underground as well when you dig. Let's switch the animus beam as that's really good at killing animals. Okay. Oh, found you. So these actually aren't the usual animal on this planet. Sometimes they get replaced by like a secondary animal. Kind of cool. Okay, hex plate bush. So this would be a prime example of the ground textures. Yeah, I've uploaded animals then. So do you see how this interesting pattern follows all the way through, which is really cool. So these planets have these weird, almost fungus-like things. My life support systems are getting properly drained on these planets. Probably because of all the jetpacking around that I'm doing. So they've quite often got stuff like humming sacks and albumen pearls and that kind of stuff. But But that does also come with a caveat that quite often the Sentinels are a bit rough. Like on this planet they are enforcing. Personally, these are the ones that I find the most difficult to find. There was a weekend mission a while back that tasked us with finding these, and it was basically the only weekend mission that's ever taken me a long time. Let's get attacked by this venom. More floating crystals. I'm coming across any curious deposits which are like these, but they're like balls on the ground that start rolling as soon as you shoot them, but they've got the same items in. And these typically take quite a while to mine. Obviously not for me because my multi-tool is amazing and modded. Is becoming a bit of a chore. Not even seeing any of the animals at the moment. I have a bit of a theory that these things don't spawn in if you're moving around too much. I could be wrong, but it certainly seems that way. I think that both the animals and the trophies sort of require you to stay still for a while to load in. Like I say, I've not confirmed that because I don't really know how to confirm that, but point in case, that wasn't there a second ago. So that's our animal. I got fragmented qualia because I used the animus beam on it. Let's switch back to mining beam. How are my life support systems down to 50 again? Literally just charged that. Okay, everything's recharged and good. So the hexplate bush that we're looking for looks exactly the same as everything else here, just a slightly different colour. Which makes it tremendously difficult to spot. Come on, I'm getting bored of this planet now. Yes, I did warn you these were the most difficult ones to find. Again, it does vary depending on what planet you've landed on, but typically these ones tend to be far more difficult than the rest to find. Of course, you can get really lucky and have the colour that it picks be a colour that majorly stands out compared to everything else. But it doesn't look like I'm getting lucky, or I would have noticed some already. It's the fact that you have to be so close to them for them to show up on the visor. 50U. Right, well, if I get back to base without finding any, then we'll just move on. I've got plenty of them in storage anyway. I think on one of the other planets I might show you just how close 50U is. I'll show you the question mark disappear as you hit 51U away from an item. Oh word, I did travel quite the distance, didn't I? Not using my ship to go back because I'm still holding out hope I might find some. Very doubtful, but worth a try. Besides, my jetpack's almost as quick now anyway. probably show you from here how close 50U is. So. Okay, so that is how close you need to be, right, to the item to have it show up as a question mark. Okay, so if it's me at the bottom and that's the base computer at the top, that's 50U. Right, so you have to be stupidly close for it to show up. Alright, so giving up on this one. And we're going to go to glitching separator. What's most annoying is I could have sworn I chose that planet because there was one right by where I put my base computer, but apparently not. Anyway, here we are on a Sharded Planet. Okay, so this could also be called a pillared or a columned planet. As you can see, different colour. That's our glitching separator. Okay, our living Zambolites. So we're building up quite a collection, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 out of 11. Couldn't find one of them. Which should mean I've got one more place to visit. So we've still got ossified stars to find. No coronavirus jokes about this one, please. We've heard it 1,000 times before, and it doesn't even look like coronavirus. That one does a bit, but these things don't, and these things are what's usually pictured. Right, so this planet has gravitino balls. And ancient data structures, let's show you them. Sure, I probably did already show you these in a different video, but whatever. Nothing wrong with showing you again. Oh, there's not very many of them. Sometimes you get absolutely loads of these things. They can give you drop pod data, but usually it's navigation data. So when you find there's like 20 of them in a row, you'll get like one drop pod data out of it and the rest navigation data. Stop. Oh, this one actually marked it out of 100U. That's interesting. It's usually only 50U. Let's test this then. Might unmark it. Let's mark something else. Right, okay, so it disappeared around the 60, no, the 90 mark. Yeah, it is 100. Interesting. So yeah, it would seem some of them are 50 and some of them are 100. And then these are our animals. These things pack a punch if they hit you, so either kill them quick or kill them from a distance. Okay, so it goes viscous fluid to living slime to runaway mould to nanites. As soon as you transfer them, they go straight into your account. So they went straight up here. Okay, well that's both of them. Where's my base? Lost my base. I think it was in. Oh, I've just seen it in the distance there. Okay, so if we head back to our farm base and we can then build what we've collected in there. Okay, so that's the full collection right there. I'm now going to go build them. Bubble clusters don't seem that affected, to be honest, by colour. As you can see, it's the roots that change colour. See the difference in colours there? Let's have a look around there. So it's the light on the side on this one that you're colouring in. Same on this one. Here is the background of the shell. There it's the actual colours of the cube, basically. There we've established it's the inside light. Here it's the light that's coming up. Bubble cluster doesn't seem to do much colouring it. The hexaplate bush, it's the roots. The outsides, the glitching separator, and the offside star is the entire thing. Okay, you can place as many of them as you've picked up. So if you've picked up 20 different bubble clusters, you can put down 20 different bubble clusters, and they just come straight out of your inventory. So you see I picked one of them up and it went back into my inventory. So deleting it doesn't delete it, it just puts it back into your inventory. Okay, and that is the normal exotic planets and their trophies. We'll put a bit on the end of the video running through the different exotic planets and the mega exotics, which are a different thing. They don't have trophies or one single life form on them, but they are very interesting because they change the colour palettes of everything you're seeing, and they have much larger trees and rocks. So I'll put a few examples of that on the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed watching. See you next time. Bye. So these are the normal planets and the various names that they come with. So you've got lush planets, barren planets, scorched planets, frozen planets, toxic planets, radioactive planets, and dead planets. Each type comes with specific items all the time, be that the gas or the mineral that's always there, or the flower that's always there, or the secondary flower that's always there. But we don't want to talk too much about that. We are talking about exotic planets. Right, so these are our different exotic planets that we've just visited. So you've got the beams type, which can be called fissured, breached, or of light. You get your light fissures and your living geysers. Right. You've got your bone spires, which can be rattling spines, skeletal. You can get your rattle spines and your bone crawlers, etc., etc. I'll just leave this up and let you read yourself. You can always pause here, as I'm going to move on to the mega exotics. Okay, so the mega exotics can be any of these names, and they can be just like any other planet type, except with much larger flora. They often have specific colours or tints and hues, for example, monochrome. And after this, there'll be a few examples of ones that I found while I was just getting the last few exotic planets bases built ready for the previous part of this video. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Goodbye. So some planets you go to, like this haunted emerald planet, have different colour palettes to them, different filters. So certain colours will show up and others won't. So this planet comes across as more monochromatic, more black and white, and red, I suppose. But yeah, there's plenty of these what are known as mega exotic planets out there. So the ones that count as mega exotic have a colour filter on, and they have much larger versions of the trees and rocks. As you can see here, these are fairly large, but some other versions of these exotic planets have like truly massive trees. This planet's actually a little bit boring compared to some of the others, but as I was here I thought I'd quickly film this. Okay, thanks for watching. And this one is a doomed jade world. As you can see, some fairly large trees there, and a very strange colour palette. Everything has this orange hue, as it's sort of opposite of green, of jade. Also worth bearing in mind that these colour palettes change in the day and the night. So it'll be different during the day than it is during the night, and you can get some really interesting effects. Sometimes you'll get like the plant life is like luminescent. Yeah, so that's that one. So this is a planetary anomaly. As you can see, it's got just an ever so slight blue reddish hue. So it's got like a blue purpley thing, I guess.